Hey, happy Wednesday and happy St. Patrick's Day and happy it's my daughter's birthday and it's a whole lot of amazing things going on today. But it is Write It Out Wednesday and this is the day where we come on to share tips and tricks and talk to you about your writing goals. We come here to put you at the top of your writing list. So are you ready to get started? So I'm just getting my papers together. I was like, hey, how did that get out of line? But anyway, so I'm Valerie McDowell. I am a writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. And we come on here on the first and third Wednesday. So it's the third Wednesday of the month. And I hope you've had an amazing day. And we're going to talk about a serious topic today. Okay, it's one of those things that keeps popping up. And I'll even admit it pops up in my own life. And I'm like, I got to grab it by the horns. It's like, no, you are not going to have me. And so we're going to be talking today about 7 ways to challenge self-sabotaging habits. Yes, those things that happen because you're trying to avoid something. But first, let's really do, and we're going to do an explanation of that. Hey, Wanda, good to see you. Thanks for joining tonight. And so do you have any self-sabotaging habits? Well, we're going to jump in here because we know that, sometimes with these pesky behaviors cropping up in our life, we often see them in health and exercise. Are we consistent? Are we eating the right thing? Particularly, it's been over a year. People have been home. That initial surge of cooking has gone back to eating out and not cooking, right? And so it's a lot of stuff that's going on. Hey, Brenda, good to see you. We're in here tonight talking about 7 ways to challenge those self-sabotaging habits. And we know that they happen in many areas of our life, but we want to make sure that they're not happening anymore. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is self-sabotage, okay? What is it, okay? And so a definition I found says it can happen when you're just looking for a way out, okay? Many people get into this, self-sabotaging, meaning you mess up yourself, your goal, the thing you're trying to do. And the behavior that you're exhibiting says that something about your situation isn't working for you, okay? Something about your situation isn't working. Now, it could be your job. How many of you have been on the jobs, or you might be on a job right now that's really not fulfilling you? It's not meeting your needs. It's not your passion. I mean, it pays the bills. It keeps a roof over your head. But, it's like it's not doing it for you. And a lot of times you might find yourself maybe surfing online, or hopefully you're not watching Netflix at work, but particularly in a remote environment, it's like if it's not the thing that you really love and you really have a passion for, you can be distracted in many ways. And I'm going to get to some of those ways that you self-sabotage, in life and different things. And this is also going to apply, of course, to your writing. As your book coach, we want to make sure you're not self-sabotaging yourself when it comes to your writing. We have lots of wonderful students in our courses and as our one-to-one clients. And we all have goals and we want to meet them. We don't want to just say we're going to do something and then do the exact opposite that won't get us to those goals. And so some of the things we're going to talk about is how does it show up, okay? How does it show up? Because, okay, we've been talking about self-sabotage is when you're looking for a way out, or it's when you do something that gets in the way of your intent, of your dreams or your goals. We want something, but we never seem to accomplish it. And why? Because somewhere deep in our subconscious is that you're fighting against the thing, like I said, that you say you want. So how does that show up? This is number 2. How does it show up? Sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing it. Some of these behaviors are so ingrained that we don't even realize it. And so we can fail to recognize it, how they're even harming, what we're doing, And so some of those ways, and we can all identify with this one, is procrastination, okay? Procrastination. It's when we keep putting off something, keep putting it off. When in essence, it's like, when are we ever going to get it done? It's like you're going to clean the closet. You're going to donate those clothes. You're going to clear out your car. Some people, it's like I'm glad I'm past the stage of kids in a car with lots of stuff that you're always finding under the seats, not of which is anything that belongs there. Okay. But procrastination, when are you going to do that thing that you said you're going to do? Did you write a chapter today? Did you work on any part of your book today? This week, it's Wednesday, we're midweek. What have you worked on this week, okay? Another way that self-sabotage shows up is in being chronically late for things. You know, I didn't know that was part of it. I know some people who are always late, no matter what. You know, that, you know, you think it's just them. And, you know, sometimes you say, oh, she not coming on time or he not coming on time. You know, they always late. But is it because, you know, I know there's a t-shirt that says, I'm sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to come. So that's part of the self-sabotage. People don't want to do something. They don't want to come somewhere. And so by coming late, they're hopefully going to miss out on all the stuff they don't want to do anyway. So is being chronically late to something that you're supposed to do? You know, were you supposed to be on a call and you come late? Were you supposed to, you know, go to a working session? Were you, you know, what were you supposed to do that you came late till it looked like you didn't want to come? Or you knew you needed to be there, but you just came late anyway. You know, what self-sabotaging things are we doing? Another thing is stress eating. Okay, what are you eating? It's like, do we even want to talk about this? Between the snacks and the sweets and the drinks, and, you know, are you just eating because you're not writing? Are you eating because you're not doing a host of other things that you could be doing? And so that's just, you're like, I'll just eat. I'll just sit and eat. I'll just sit and watch TV. I'll just, you know, but what else could you be doing? You know, because that doesn't take energy. In fact, saps your energy when you're just, you know, mindlessly eating, you know, or stress eating. And many people do that. You know, that's actually one of the more common things that people do. And the pandemic has not helped at all. And people are just like, oh my God, I want some chocolate, you know, or whatever your favorite thing might be. Or another way that it shows up, self-sabotage, is your inability or unavailability towards others. It's like you're either not going to do something for someone else or you're just unavailable all the time. You know, it's like, hey, can you come with me and help? We're like, nah. How about you doing, like, you know, and many times it's something that you need help with, but you're unavailable. You're not willing to open yourself to get the help you need. You're not willing to invest even sometimes in the things that you need, or you're not willing to just do the thing, to put yourself in a place where you're going to get something that you need. You're unable, you're unavailable, you're unwilling. You know, some of these things sound like bad relationships. What you think? And so what else is going on? But how can that show up in your writing? Okay, because of course we're talking about writing. But like I was saying, we procrastinate in our writing. We don't get it done. We didn't even write a paragraph, let alone a page. Okay, not committing to doing the time. Okay, this is where maybe being chronically late, when you don't even put time in. You know, you don't schedule time to write. You know, and you end up doing 50 other things. You know, this is where you do that stuff when you should be writing. Oh, you're cleaning out the closet now? You're cleaning out the car? No, you should be writing. And then, like I was saying, not coming on coaching calls. You know, I do coaching calls every weekend on Sundays. It's like, if you're not coming, you know, then how are you getting support? You know, are you okay? Like, part of, you know, people joining my program or being a part of different things I do is so they can get support. You know, and in a group setting, you know, lots of people can get their questions answered all at one time. And so what are you doing to not take part and to take advantage of those things that are being done just for you? Okay. So we have to make sure that we're not self-sabotaging ourselves in the things that we're doing. So it's like my things are a little out of order here. It's like, but I got it together. All right. So what's the next thing that's happening? So another thing that can be going on is that that you need to find, you know, what's going on in terms of where's the root of this happening, you know. And there's a thing, you know, many of you have probably heard it called the imposter syndrome. It's that thing in your head that says you don't deserve to be successful, okay, or that you feel inadequate. Even when you're trying to, you know, you try to overcompensate by setting really high goals for yourself, But then that just leads to perfectionism. Like, oh, well, if it doesn't look like this, then it's not right. Or I have to have 15 pages or it's not a full chapter. It's like, who's saying these things to you? It's like, what are the thoughts that are going in your head that are causing you to not be able to accomplish those things that you need to do? Because writing 1 page or 2 pages is a great accomplishment. You did something. You have something to report. You know, as I've shared in the class, it's like you can always edit a page. You cannot edit a blank page, okay? If you've typed something, if you've written something, we can edit that and make it better. But if you haven't written anything at all, there's nothing we can do with that. Okay, so let's make sure that we're doing the work that we need to do. And then something else that we can do is in identifying those root causes is like, you know, why do we do those things? Why are we looking for that for stress relief? You know, because when those feelings are inside of like how we feel about ourselves, you know, then it causes other things to kind of pull apart inside of us. It's like, if you're not feeling good about yourself, you know, like if you go, for instance, to get your hair done, it's like, oh my God, how good you feel. You're like, oh, I'm so pretty. You know, you feel good. You get your makeup done or any, you know, you feel good about it. But when you're not taking care of yourself, nothing can make you feel good. You know, you're like, oh, I'm just tired. I don't want to do it. You know, and then that turns into more negative behavior and negative self-talk. So we're going to eliminate that, right? You know, and we're going to get to that positive inner voice inside of us, because most things that happen in our life are, you know, that we don't like are a result of fear. You know, fear shows up in so many ways. So procrastination, all the things we were talking about, being chronically late, some of that has to do with fear. Like, what will people think? What will they say? Okay. So we need to get to the root of that voice inside of our head. You know, like I was saying with the imposter syndrome, you start feeling you don't deserve it. Like, or, you know, I'm a failure. What if I don't finish it? It's like, where are those thoughts coming from? Who told you? You know, that you couldn't do these things. It's like most of the time we're focused on what we can't do, as opposed to looking at how amazing or how much stuff we have been able to accomplish, because look how much you've accomplished. The fact that you are here, that you have set out to write a book, that you have a title, you've got pages written, you're doing great things. And even, you know, whatever you've had to do in this pandemic, we're still here. Many people are not, but you're still here. That's an accomplishment in and of itself. That means you've been safe, you've protected yourself. You know, you've been able, even if you had it, you've overcome it. You know, but life is every day there's something happening. So how you're able to maneuver and manage this is an amazing thing. Okay. So what else is going on that we can do? Okay. So we get to our inner voice. We work on that mindset, you know, because how we think about things will determine how we act out things. Okay. Because whatever's going on in your head is going to come out in your body and in your actions and your thinking, because you cannot change what you do until you change how you think about it. Okay, you cannot change what you do until you change how you think. Okay, because behavior is not going to change. For all the people that's doing stuff all over the world that you may not like, it's like, but it's about how they think, what they believe. So what do you believe about yourself? You know, I have my students do a mantra, you know, I am a published author. You know, that my book is going to help transform people's lives. Like, you have to say things in order for it to start manifesting. And the more you say it, the more you hear it. And the more it becomes part of the lingo. Because just like negative thoughts can become part of your daily language, so can positive thoughts. You know, if you always say, I look good. Girl, you look good. You got it going on. If you tell yourself great things every single day, you're starting believing it. And so you won't be able to hear. You'll have such a shield around you that all that other stuff that tries to come through, you won't even hear. Or even if something gets in, you can let it bounce right off. You know, you can let it bounce right off because you want the thing that works for you. You know, is that going to get you to your goal? Is that going to get you where you need to be? Because if it's not, you got to discard it. Okay, you have to discard it if it's not going to get you where you need to be. And one way to discard stuff is by changing your habits. It was like I was talking to my trainer today, and he was like, all right, Val, we got some habits we need to change. And I'm like, because I know it's going to be hard, you know, from the point of view of anything that's not getting me to my goal, we got to get rid of it. So there were a few things. He's like, we need to tweak some things. We need to tweak some things to get you to your goal. If this is your goal and you want to get here, Just like I tell my clients, if you want your book published by this point, these are the things you have to do. So I'm definitely not telling you anything I'm not telling myself or having been told to myself. I've got mentors, I've got coaches, you've got mentors, we all need someone to help us get across the finish line. Because if we could do it all by ourselves, don't you think we would have? I mean, everyone needs someone to help them. Even if you think you're this independent, strong person, a little push, encouragement, support goes a heck of a long way. I mean, for someone to be like, I'm proud of you, I'm really proud of you. Like, you did a bank up, like you killed it with that title, girl. It feels good for someone to recognize your effort, like the first half a pound you lose, you're like, yes, a half a pound. Because you may have been gaining 20, but this is the first time it went down in the other direction. So whatever effort you do that is a win, celebrate it. Don't wait until you've got 400 pages. You got 2 pages? Let's do that. Let's celebrate. Not with snacks, not with other stuff that will sabotage you and make you tired, and then you won't go back to writing. But let's do those things that keep us going. You can have a handful of nuts, okay? Drink some water. Do the things that get you to your goal. Okay, so in changing your habits, it's like we're taking action that either moves us towards the things we want to have. So the behaviors that you keep allowing, like I was saying you to do, are the ones that are keeping you from what you desire. So think about all the things that you do in a day. What time do you get up? What do you do? What are you eating when you get up? Do you do any exercise? Do you do any mental work? Mindset work is so key. It's good to do it early in the morning when you first get up, before you're, hit with email and news and all the stuff that's going to be like dragging you down. Get that mindset work. Declare your intentions for the day. Speak what you want to see. Write the goal, write the vision, and what is it that you want to do? Because the more you do these kinds of things, the more you'll see your behavior changing. And it may be gradual at first, because a lot of things take time, because think about how long you've been doing the bad behavior, how long you've had that habit. I have on my wall, habits. What are your habits, Val? What are you doing every day? Because the things that you do every single day are the things that manifest in your life. Like, I know I'm using fitness a lot. That's because I was talking to my trainer. But it's like when you see people and you saw them one size and then you see them maybe a couple months later and you're like, wow. It's like, what they've been doing. What they've been doing either way. So whether they've gained a lot of weight or if they lost a lot of weight, you can see the results of what's been happening in their life. And stress eating can cause the weight gain. But also if you're working out, if you're like, what? This is what I've been doing and I haven't liked the results, let me change. If it's been a month since you really wrote something, and you need to do 20 pages, just hunker down and get it done. Sometimes you got to push yourself past what you're thinking, like, it's late. Okay. How many times have you lost sleep for something that didn't really matter? Okay. For things and people and situations that didn't matter. How much time have you given up, just hanging out or talking on the phone about nothing? It's like, if you put that same time in towards your goals, you'll see how much further you can end up going. And then another thing to do is make small, meaningful steps toward change. So that's what I'm saying. It's like doing 2 pages, doing 1 page, whatever you do. If it's every day, like I have clients who say they're not writers. Can we record it? I record lots of things, particularly if I get a quick idea, but I'm working on something else. I just record it in my phone so I don't forget, because I may write it down and then I can't find the paper. It's like, okay, which notebook, which journal did I write? It's like, put it on your phone. I know where it's going to be, because I have different journals and notebooks for different things. So I don't want to just grab a piece of paper, but at least if I put it in my journal, it'll date it. I'll know what it was. And I know it's there, and I can back it up and I can also email it to myself so I don't lose it. Okay. So even if the phone goes down later on that day, I have things. Did you email any notes you sent to yourself? So at least you have it in another place, because, backup is key. Okay. So that's a small step you can take, recording yourself, and do things that are realistic. That's you, Wanda. You can't find that piece of paper. Girl, I don't even want to turn this camera around for you to see my desk right now. It's a bunch of paper. I kind of moved everything aside. But I work on a lot of things at once. But I got my folders. I got my file cabinet. Actually, I'm looking for a new one. Or I think I might get a red one or a green one. I'm getting some color. So we're gonna do that. But yes, don't lose the paper. Record it in your phone. And being aware, okay? If you realize you're sabotaging your success by missing deadlines, by not following through, by not doing what you're supposed to do, then take a step back rather, and see, what one thing can I do? Okay, I have a friend and she's like, I do 3 things a day, in terms towards my goal. 3 things, that's it. What 3 things can you do a day? And it doesn't all have to be writing. Can it be thinking about your cover? What would you like to see on your cover? Is there a picture? Look online. What kind of covers do you like? That when we go to layout and design, are there books and layouts that you've seen? That's a way to not be thinking about writing, but still be thinking about writing, because your book still has to go through that process. So if that's, if you're having a moment where you're like, nothing's coming, I don't really know what to write right now. Okay, let's work on the cover. Get your testimonials. How about that? Call those people that can write something about your book, about your character, about who you are for the back of your book. Go ahead and get that done now. You don't have to wait. That's something you're going to need anyway. Get a professional photo done. Okay, you're going to need your picture on the back of your book, or for those of you who are going to put your picture on the front of your book, go ahead and get the pictures done. If you're not writing that day or that week, get some other things done that we can cross off the list. And then that way we can move forward, because little things done every day adds up to the great big book being published. Okay. Because it's a lot of little steps, because when we start getting to the end, because I know it takes a minute to get the manuscript started and or organize, outline all those things in your story and the language and all that. But then, the next process is the layout, the design, all the technical stuff. And that can take a minute too. So don't think because you finish writing, okay, I want my book published next week. Not going to happen. So there's a way you can kind of get some of the other stuff started so that you can at least be able to move forward in another way, and you'll see yourself getting closer and closer to your goal. And then also, if you are a disorganized person generally, teachers in school, like the messy kid, their cubby was just full of paper and stuff balled up. Nothing was ever clear. If you're that person, I think there's the woman on Netflix or somewhere, that Tidy House or something, where, but little habits of 15 minutes a day. If you're not writing, you're not doing your cover layout, clean up something for 15 minutes. Get a timer. Those kitchen timers work wonderfully for just little tasks in your house. 15 minutes, that's it. Vacuum for 15 minutes. Clean the bathroom for 15 minutes. Wash the dishes or put them in the dishwasher for whatever you can do for 15 minutes. Boom, cut it off, and then go back to your task. And then that way you at least got something done in the house, or you can do 15 minutes of exercise or a 15-minute nap. Sometimes you need that too, okay? So, but do something that gets you towards your goal, because that power nap might just be the thing you needed, and you wake up with some really good ideas. So we're not going to sleep on that, okay? Sleep. I didn't mean to do that, but I guess that worked, right? So what else is going on? Okay, we're making small changes, okay? And then you can count them. You can see them coming to pass. But also, while you're making those changes, set a goal. Okay, the reason we do the self-sabotaging behavior is because we don't know what to expect. Okay, when something starts getting unfamiliar and we're like, I don't know, this is different. It's like, oh, this doesn't feel comfortable. Particularly if you're writing a story that, might deal with some trauma you've experienced, or, relationships or stuff. You're like, I'm not sure if I want to tell this, or it's going to bring back all the bad memories, or it's going to make me sad, or it's going to piss me off. You don't know what it's going to do. But the thing is, it's like, set a goal. What is the goal? It's like, this is the day I'm going to deal with that subject. Right? This week, I'm going to finish it, and we're going to be done with it, and then I can move on to the other stuff. Because sometimes, that things are always going to be coming up. There will always be obstacles. But you have to look them in the face and be like, you know what? I see you. But we still going to deal with it. We still going to move forward. Because nothing ever gets done if you just let every distraction and obstacle stop you. It's like, for a long distance runner or someone that does hurdles, I don't know if they're going to do Olympics. They're trying to do them, whatever. But I used to run track and run hurdles. It's like, if you've never run hurdles before, it looks pretty intimidating. You're like, I'm going to break my neck. But it's like you learn how to get that stride, and you practice. You practice on lower things before you get to the higher, because those hurdles can go high, but you have to first stretch and elongate and get to the level of jumping and stretching your body before you can jump over something, and you got to get some distance behind you and run. So when you get there, you're already in the air. And so you don't trip or fall. But, it's the same thing. You got to set a goal. What is your goal? What is it that you want to do? Do you just want to do one book? Maybe you want to. Maybe it's, it's a part of a series. But the thing is, set the goal. And the best way in moving forward, or rather, one of the things when you don't set goals is that things will make you afraid. And instead of moving forward boldly with confidence, you start acting negatively. That when someone presents something new to you, okay, so this is what we're going to do today. And you're like, what she thinks she is? Always coming up with something new. It's like your coach trying to get you to the finish line. So don't react negatively. And don't even take things personally, particularly when people are supporting you towards your goal. It's just unfamiliar. And anything unfamiliar, it's not going to feel good always. Anything you do, like if you haven't done anything to your body and physically, you haven't stretched, you haven't lifted any weights, the first time you do it, it's going to be hard. You might not can lift 3 pounds, and you're trying to do 20. No, start with 3 or 2, 1 pound, your own body weight, whatever you need to do, start small, but at least have a goal. It's like in 2 weeks, I want to get up to 5 pounds, and that's because you're doing 3 pounds every day, 2 or 3 times, but the thing is to let go of the negative thoughts that come with unfamiliarity, because there's always, in every circumstance we go to, whatever you do, like once you're a published author, then you'll be in circles where you weren't before, because you weren't a published author before and now you are. So this is a new group of people you might be around, like, oh my God, they're an author. I'm an author. Like, it's new. But then now that you're in it, you'll end up writing another book, and then you'll be in a different group of multi-published authors. So there's always, it's like school. You go through elementary school, you get to the 6th grade, you're the big person on campus, and then you go to middle school and you're starting all over again. And then you go to high school and you're starting all over again. And college and anything else, a new job, you change jobs. Kids in the family, you got 1 kid, you manage that. Now you got 2 kids. Oh, wow, that's a lot. Now you have 3 kids. That's even more. So you keep learning new things and managing new things as you go along. But the key is, what goals are you setting? What plans are you making so that you get there? And this helps to take the fear and the guesswork out of it, because then you can think about contingency plans. Okay, well, these are what my plans are, or these are what my goals are. And in the event this doesn't work, well, here's something that I have also to do. Like, if these people are not available to stay for this, then I'm going to do this instead. And then that way you're not getting all discombobulated. I can't believe that they weren't available for me. It's like people are busy. So if they're not available the day you need, okay, what else can you do? What other things can you get done? Have goals. Make a list. What other things can I do? Because when you have other options, then you'll be less, invested in one outcome. Because sometimes the outcome isn't exactly the way you want it, but it still works out. How many times have things not worked out 100%? Most. It's very rare that things happen exactly the way you want them. Or at least maybe that's just me. But, that's why we have to be flexible. That's why our bodies can do different things. We can turn our necks because we need to be flexible. If we were just robots, nothing would move. So I think God created us the way he did so that we could move and shift and flow with the way things change in life. Because otherwise, we're going to be resisting and resisting and resisting every single day. And after a while, people don't want to be bothered with you because they're like, this person is just not able to move, And so, no self-sabotage, and by having plans, setting the goals, it takes the guesswork out of what you want to do. Okay. And then our last thing that we want to say today is, and help me out here. I was like, why are my notes? See, is this trying to be a little self-sabotage? Am I teaching y'all today here? Oh, that actually was my last point. That's why it's happening there. So consider how the actions and the thoughts that you're taking are conflicting with the things that you want to do, okay? We want to make sure that we identify those self-sabotaging behaviors. Those are things that block you from doing the thing that you say you want to do. It's in our mindset, it's in our actions, it's in whether or not we're setting goals or not. It's in being able to do 1, 2, 3 small things a day, so that at least we are able to move forward, even if you can't do the whole thing. What they say, the best way to eat an elephant is one piece at a time. What one piece of that elephant of work that you need to do can you do one at a time? And then also making sure that your language, is saying the thing that you want to say. Because if you speak it in a way that you want to see it, then you're much more likely to see it than if you're speaking against the thing that you want. It's like for people who say, oh, I can never do that. Okay, you're speaking that you can never do something. Just, rather say, I can't wait until my book is finished. I'm so excited. This is going to be amazing. It's like I have a client. He's like, I'm going to be a top Amazon bestseller, and we hit the charts. It's like he spoke it before we got there, and another client. So it's like, what are you saying to yourself? And as I share with my clients all the time, I have a book I read called What Do You Say When You Talk to Yourself? That mindset work is so key. And that really is the key to eliminating the self-sabotage in our life. And so as writers, as authors, as people who want to move forward in any area of your life, you got to deal with that self-sabotage. Because so many times it's not other people. It's us. It's me. I'm the person that's messing up my future. So the thing is, look at yourself, take a look at those things that you're putting away. Are you procrastinating? Are you chronically late? Are you stress eating? Are you doing anything that's causing the goals that you've set for yourself not to be realized? Do you need support? Do you need people in your life? What are the things that will get you to your goal? And so as a book coach, I work with clients, in helping them reach their goals. Many people come to me, particularly my one-on-one clients, who say, I don't know where to start. And actually most people, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to write. Like I have an idea, but I don't really know how to put it together. Well, that's why I'm here. As your book coach, I help you take that idea and get you to publish, to dig out those things that sometimes there are thoughts and ideas inside of you that you don't know what to do with it. And so we sit down and we massage those things. We pull them out to help you move them from out of your heart, out of your mind, out of your soul even, onto that printed page to help you go from idea to publish. Because it's my honor to serve. It's a passion. I get excited when I work with my clients. I love my group coaching and my Q&A sessions because, they have just the best questions. And, we're able to learn together. We're able to grow together. We're able to build each other's work together. And so when they get to publish, it's going to be a great day. We got to have a celebration or something, right, Brenda? That there are great things that we're going to do, as a result. And for me, it doesn't stop at the book. It's like, what else? Because as I see different projects come together, then I see the next thing, that you need to do. Like there's one of my private coaching clients that I've already visualized, and she's caught it too. Like, this is going to be so big. Like I see a program and, people cheering and all kinds of things happening just because that, the idea that she took that step to start writing her book. And it happens for so many others. Like I see beyond that book, because that's not the end story. It's like, it's amazing to finish your book, because for some people, it's been 5, 10, 15, 20 or more years. So to actually get to publish is huge. But don't stop there, because that's not the only part of your book that we work on. We work on what's next. You've got now, because it's for someone else. Your book, the transformation, that message, whatever it is that you're sharing with people is not just for you, So even in that part, it's unfamiliar. You haven't done it before, but that doesn't mean you can't. It's just new. And just like new shoes, you got to break them in, okay? So we're going to break in that next set of things that you do after your book is done. But in the meantime, we're still taking small steps every day to make sure that we are accomplishing our goal. So no self-sabotage, okay? We're not doing any of that. We ain't got time for that, ladies, okay? We are not self-sabotaging our way. And I have on my t-shirt, Imago Deo, which means I'm made in the image of God. So I have his mind, I have his thought, I have his thinking. So I need to apply that to my own life so that I can walk in purpose, walk in destiny, walk in my callings and gifts, so I can support all of you. So I want to thank you for joining me here tonight. We've been talking about how to not self-sabotage our lives, through our habits. And I'm Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, book coach, author, and consultant. And I'll see you on the first Wednesday in April. So have a great week. If you need to check in on me, come to my Book Coach Accelerator page. And for those of you in my class, I'll see you soon. Have a good evening. Bye.